I've lost 36 pounds in 8 weeks on a GLP-1. And listen, it's not magic. It doesn't make you suddenly love salads and want to go running the marathon, but it does change things in your body, in your brain, and in ways that I wasn't really warned about. Also, if no one's told you about the bathroom situation yet, buckle up. Let's talk about it. So yeah, 36 pounds in 8 weeks. I started at 0.25 milligrams of the compounded semaglutide, and I've stayed consistent every week on what the doctors have recommended. I've taken my shot consistently on Wednesdays. I did the 0.25 milligrams for 4 weeks, and then I went up to the 0.5 milligrams, and this week I took the first dose of the 1 milligram. And I'm a visual person. I like to see visuals, especially when we're talking about things like numbers. So I put together this little breakdown of how much I lost each week, just so you can see better and see how the experience has been for me each week. So the first week, I lost 4.5 pounds. That was the weigh-in after I had been on the medication a week. And that was on the 0.25s of the compounded semaglutide. In week 2, I lost 10.9 pounds. That's the most I've lost in any single week. And that was also on the 0.25 milligrams of the compounded semaglutide. On week 3, I lost 5.1 pounds. So it started, to slow back down a little bit. And on week 4, I lost 1.7. So it had slowed down quite a bit by that point. Moving on to week 5, this is when I started taking the 0.5 milligrams. I titrated up to it, and I had lost 3.3 pounds that week, followed by 3.1 pounds on week 6. That's also on the 0.5. That was my first full week on the 0.5 milligrams. Week 7, I lost 6.6 pounds. I was also on the 0.5 milligrams. So it went back up. I was very happy because this was the week where I hit 35 pounds. And I just feel like that's a milestone kind of number. And then week 8, which was this week, I struggled and I lost 1.2 pounds still, which is great. I'm not complaining. Well, I am complaining about the constipation, but that's fine. That's fine considering all of the other progress I've made. So that brings the total over 8 weeks to 36 pounds. I'm so happy and so satisfied about that. And I just want to say one thing. I'm not putting these numbers up to make anyone else who's on this journey feel bad. I'm doing it just so you can see that it's possible. It doesn't mean that if you've lost way less than that over the same period of time or a longer period of time that you're not having success. It doesn't mean that at all. Everyone's body, metabolism, brain, everything, we all are different in our own ways. So it makes sense that the medication is not going to work the same on all of us in the same time periods, week by week. So don't get discouraged if you see any of these numbers and think, why have I not lost that much? And if you've lost more, congrats. I'm really proud of you. And, keep it up. Whether you're having a hard time, a plateau, or you're doing just fantastic, keep it up. You already did the hard part. You started. And I would say at the beginning, I didn't really think I had much of like a goal. I just want to lose as much as possible. And I have a lot to lose. I'm talking about like 200, 300 pounds. But I do want to make my first goal to lose 60 pounds by my birthday, my 30th birthday, which is on July 1st. I want to lose 60 pounds by then because then I'll be under a certain weight, and I'll talk about that, in future videos after I hit that milestone. I kind of don't want to jinx it, yet. But like I said, I want to lose like 300 pounds. So let that give you a hint. And so let's get rid of these numbers because they're giving me a headache. The first couple of weeks, I would say it was an adjustment period. I didn't really feel many side effects or anything except the good side effect, which is that it brings down your food noise. If you don't know what food noise is, it's the little voice in your head that tells you you should eat or makes you think about what you want to eat later. Focus on food more than I would say normal people do. And normal might not be the right word, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. I just really didn't have much of an appetite for anything. I still don't. And I'm also drinking less, which is not good, but I'm getting better at that. I've gotten much better at that this week. but I've had to because of the bathroom problem I mentioned. But 8 weeks in, I'm pretty well adjusted to it, I think. I definitely think about food way less, which is always a plus when you're trying to lose weight. I stop when I'm full instead of trying to finish a plate or finish everything that I cooked. And that didn't used to be a thing for me. I used to stop eating when the food was gone. One of the weirdest parts of the whole thing is realizing just how loud the food noise was. I didn't realize how often I was thinking about food, about what my next meal was going to be, about what is going to be on my next grocery list, or just all the time, different ways of thinking about food, and almost in an obsessive way, and definitely in an unhealthy way. It used to be just normal to think about food pretty consistently throughout the day, and it wasn't anything I ever really noticed. But now it's quiet. It's too quiet sometimes. I'll have to say, I'm actually really surprised that all the things that people talked about as far as food noise goes when being on these medications, they were telling the truth. It's hard to explain unless you've experienced it, but it takes away food noise, which, if you're like me, I've been overweight since I was teenager, preteen. And now I feel like I'm just on a different path because this medication has fundamentally changed something that all of the other weight loss attempts that I've tried haven't. And that's the food noise. That's the biggest thing that it's changed. And I really think it's a blessing, to be honest. And I am so happy that I finally took it upon myself it's not cheap. It's not a cheap thing to do. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but I decided it's an investment. It's an investment in my future. It's something that I finally decided, okay, as much as I don't want to, I'm going to spend the money on this and maybe it will work. And by the grace of God, it works. I almost said it's a miracle. It's not the only thing. Like I said, it changed one thing that was fundamentally different from any other weight loss attempts that I had, and that's it got rid of the food noise. And if you're like me, if you're watching this, you know how much of a detriment the food noise has been to gaining the weight that you're trying to lose now. But it's not the only thing. I see it as a tool in my toolbox to get healthier. I don't see it as the only thing. I have changed the way I'm eating, not just eating an appropriate amount and things like that in a calorie deficit, but the things I'm eating, I'm not craving that bag of gummy bears or sour candy like I used to. That's something I haven't experienced and I can't even remember. I always have loved gummies and sour candy and things like that. I never was a chocolate person. I was always a gummy person, but I don't even crave it. I've even bought some sugar-free gummies and things like that in the past 8 weeks, and it's just not appealing to me, really. I would say one thing that I used to love potato chips and I don't even miss them. And that's crazy to me. On every other diet I've tried, that's something that has just not happened. That's the one major difference about it. And that's why I have such qualms when people say it's the easy way out. You're taking the easy way, or why does it matter? Who cares? I am trying to get healthier. We're all trying to get healthier. And isn't that enough? Who cares how we are trying to do it? As long as it's in a way that doesn't affect anyone else negatively, then zip it and just be there for the people in your lives and strangers. Support them because they're trying to live longer. They're trying to have a better life for a reason. I am too. I still do have some cravings, I would say, but they don't control me anymore. The craving is there, but it's background noise. It's nothing like it was. Now let's talk about what sucks. The side effects for me. At the first several weeks, I didn't have that many side effects. I would say there was maybe one time in the first month where I had constipation, and towards the end of the 4 weeks, I had some nausea as I started to go up to the next dose. But this past week, the constipation has been ridiculous. Apocalyptic level constipation. I have never had constipation this bad in my entire life. It's not to the point where I feel like it's dangerous or anything like that, and it's not painful or anything. It's just annoying because when I went to weigh myself this week, it said I had gained, and that was on Wednesday. But I knew that wasn't true because I have been so constipated the past several days. And I knew my body was holding on to things. When I weighed myself again today, I had lost 1 pound, which I think I've lost maybe even more than that. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. The numbers aren't the most important things. The important things are like me wearing the shirt that I got. Either I bought it or my mom got it for me maybe last year and I couldn't wear it. But now I can wear it and it's not tight, comfortable, and it's a nice feeling. It's a great non-scale victory. I got sidetracked a bit. Let's talk about the constipation. Like I said, it's the worst I've ever had, but it's not something I feel like is at a level where it's going to negatively affect me. I think it has to do more with my diet and not drinking enough fluids, which is something I've been working on for the past several days because I don't want this constipation, because I don't want to have this constipation feeling anymore. The day that I was going to weigh myself, my shot day, I never drink coffee. I haven't drank coffee since college. And I drank 2 big cans of coffee. And then I drank Miralax, the recommended dose for a day. Then I took fiber and there were a few other things I tried and I just could not go yesterday. But then after eating more and upping my water intake, it started to resolve. Still not completely resolved, but it's definitely much better than it was. And I'm very happy about that. And there are some days where I feel like, am I cheating? I'm not. I haven't started working out yet. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie and say I haven't. I have been walking around and moving around more just at home, but I haven't started doing any of my exercises or anything yet because I want to get some more weight off before I do, because it can be a little tough when you're carrying around like a bag of bricks constantly that you can't take off. But I keep coming back to this. What if the hardest part is just finally being able to succeed without hating yourself or thinking you're doing something wrong or that you need to do so much more the whole time while you're trying to lose weight? This isn't easy necessarily, but it's more possible than ever, I feel like. Just to give a little recap, I lost 36 pounds over these 8 weeks, and I'm so grateful for that. And honestly, I feel better than I thought I would. Like I said, I'm moving around just at home more, and that's like a freeing feeling. And I can't wait to lose even more weight so I can get back to doing things I used to do, like going for hikes. I miss that, and I haven't been able to do that in a while. I don't feel better because of the numbers. That's not the most satisfying thing. But the most satisfying thing is feeling like you're not at war with your own body and your own mind over this one thing that's been negative in your life for over a decade, 2 decades. Oh my gosh. So if you're watching this and you started and stopped more times than you can count, I get it. I've done the apps. I've done the different diets. I've bought the different foods and the different this and that. The shame, the this time I'm serious thing. This is the first time it doesn't feel completely hopeless. Shout out to fiber and shout out to water and electrolytes and all of that great stuff. Remember to drink your water, folks, if you're going to start this medication or if you're already on it, or if you're not on it and not considering it. If you're just a normal person, drink plenty of water. It's good for you. And if you're on this medication and you've figured out the solution to the bathroom riddle I've been having, please let me know in the comments what I can do to avoid this giant roadblock. Share your secrets with me. So I'm going to keep doing these updates. I think it's helpful to see people who are my size and also me and putting their experience out because it's a voice that may be a little underrepresented in this space. So if you want to keep up with what happens after the next 8 weeks, then hit subscribe or not. I'm not your mother, but I am going to keep talking about bathroom problems, food, addiction, and mental clarity. So fair warning. I hope you have a great day. And remember to never stop chasing better days for yourself. Have a good one.